It being election day, I thought today would be a good day to share some thoughts I've been having about the state of American politics. Normally I do vlogs like the jump cut you just saw, but this I'm just going to read straight from what I've written, almost like a speech. No nation in the history of the world has been perfect, and my own is no exception. But there have been times that the United States of America has led the world in many areas and in many ways, and there are some even still today who would say that America holds its place of preeminence on the world stage. There's no arguing that America has fallen into a rut that has rendered it incapable of being what it should be, or at least could be. Everyone has different theories about the causes of this latent malignant cancer that's been festering within our borders from the beginning. Of course, tracing back a complex interplay of effects to one all-impacting cause is problematic at best and dangerous at worst, but if handled carefully, such self-examination can be helpful, I think. One recent hypothesis that I found very helpful comes from David Simon, creator of the HBO series The Wire. In an interview with Vice magazine, link available in the description, Simon said that his show is based on one overarching idea. We've given ourselves over to the Olympian god that is capitalism, and now we're reaping the whirlwind. Now, my fiscal conservative friends, don't freak out. He's not a communist. He's not saying that capitalism as capitalism is evil. He's blaming capitalism as Olympian God. And with that phrase, I believe that David Simon has come very close to diagnosing the root cause of the myriad problems America faces today. The Olympian gods were petty and corrupt meta-beings that used their power selfishly and with reckless indifference to the humans they were supposed to be governing. All forms of idolatry since the dawn of time have centered around one basic practice: taking a legitimately good thing, compartmentalizing it, and elevating it to the status of an if not all-powerful, then extremely powerful deity. The problem with idolatry is this compartmentalization, taking one good thing, isolating it from its ecosystem of other values and virtues that help make that good thing good, and then worshiping this disconnected good that has lost much of its luster in the process of its enshrinement. Capitalism is founded on some good things: money, profit, advancement. Without the checks and balances of virtues like justice and generosity and sustainability, it's very easy for capitalism to slide down the slippery slopes of human nature, greed on the one hand and envy on the other. So prosperity, which began as a virtue, has mutated under the corrupting influence of human worship into two vices: greed and envy. And now these two vices have become the rallying cries for the two parties, the bottom lines to which both sides appeal in an ever-descending cycle of cynical politics. The Republican appeals to the greed of those who have more or want to have more by pretending to embrace the idol of free market capitalism. The idol of free market capitalism promises unrestrained freedom and opportunity, but unfortunately without the checks and balances of virtues like compassion, justice, and mercy. The Democrat appeals to the envy of those who have less and least by pretending to embrace the idol of socialism. The idol of socialism promises equity and hope, but unfortunately without the checks and balances of virtues like autonomy and the other side of justice that pop socialism likes to pretend doesn't exist, and that is letting people who have done wrong suffer the consequences for their actions. A good example of this in The Wire's Commissioner Burrell, who in spite of doing an absolutely horrific job as police commissioner, is rewarded for his compliance with a six-figure contract doing less work. You may have noticed that I said these two parties pretend to embrace these idols, because the truth is that they are not socialists nor free market capitalists. Both parties are quite plainly Keynesian capitalists who have agreed that the best government is an oligarchy that pretends to be a democracy. They're capitalists who are too scared of the tooth and claw of a truly free market, who want to make sure they can keep what they have, help their friends, and keep the poor people happy enough not to revolt. Some have been making a big deal about the Keynesian move Obama made with the bailout and stimulus package of 2009. They applaud the results of this move and say it serves as proof that Obama took the step that Republicans just wouldn't have been able to make. Of course, these pundits conveniently gloss over the fact that Bush approved a stimulus and bailout to almost the same amount of money the year before, a Keynesian sort of move if ever there was one. These two parties are two sides of the same coin. They are not socialists and they're not free market capitalists. Their primary concern is not for red or blue, black or white. The primary color in their decision making is green, preferably the green that they think belongs in their own or their own party's pockets. And this sounds pretty hopeless, and I've overstated my case because there are people who care. There are good people in the halls of power. I believe there are good people in both parties. But before these people can make effective change on a grand scale, it is my belief that they must renounce these idols and stand against their parties for what's truly just, yet sustainable, truly prosperous, all the while being equitable. Can such a thing even exist? I don't really know. And I don't want to say that anything would be better than America is now, because I don't think that's true at all. We have our problems, but there have been many forms of government through the millennia and across the globe that have been, and even today are, far worse. I don't know what the path forward is, but I believe it starts with an accurate recognition of what America has become. It started as a representative republic, a democratic republic by the people and for the people, but by and large, today I think we have fallen on our faces before idols of paper promissory notes that tell us we have value, that tell us we have worth even when our character and our work ethic suggest otherwise. We began as a representative republic, but we have become a Keynesian oligarchy, a power by the people with money, for the people with money that acts like it cares for those without it. This is Fort Suze, the surfing violinist, reminding you to keep it creative, keep it quality, and keep it constructive, YouTube. Thank you very much.